A very good morning to all my dear 8th class students. How are you all children? I hope you all are fine at home and safe at home. Welcome back to homeschooling children. Today, as it's an introductory class, I'd like to just talk little about what are the different topics that we had already covered in the month of April and what are we going to cover in this month about this from this chapter. So as you know that we have started the chapter 4 of our science textbook, which is the first chapter of our chemistry, the metals and the non-metals. So I had given you basic information or the basic knowledge about the matter in particular, right children? What is matter composed of? The definition of matter. Can you recall the definition of matter? Yes, it's anything that has mass and occupies certain space, right? That is called as matter, and this matter can be actually classified. I gave you a small flow chart or a mind map where you can understand what matter is, right? It is actually composed of pure substances and impure substances. The pure substances are nothing but elements and compounds, and I gave you the definitions also. If you had forgotten that, please go through the running notes, those who attended the offline classes, and the video lessons for online students. Please go through, and I had posted the definitions of elements and compounds too. Go and once again refer. Okay, and know and learn the definitions of these important terms. Elements, compounds are the pure substances. What are impure substances? They are nothing but mixtures, and these mixtures can be classified again as homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures, right children? So there we have elements, right, in the pure substances, and these elements can be broadly again of 3 types. So we have metals, we have metalloids, and we have non-metals. I gave you the definitions of all these 3 too. And also we had learnt about the different properties of metals and non-metals also. So do one thing, it's just like a small assignment or what you call a small task. You just go around in your house and just find things, and you just identify different things and try and classify them into metals and non-metals. You get some examples, take some examples and classify them into metals and non-metals. How are you going to classify that? When you have a good knowledge about the properties of metals and non-metals, you will be able to classify these things into metals and non-metals. So quickly let us recall what are the properties of metals. So when you know the property, you just remember or think in mind some metal like gold or iron. So now tell me, what are the properties of the gold there? So you see that the gold is it hard or is it powdery? It is hard substance. It is a harder substance. Iron, if you take, it's a hard substance. The metals are usually hard. And if you talk about gold, it has a very distinctive luster. It has got shine, isn't it? So it has got a distinct shine, so that is called as being lustrous. The metals are usually lustrous. There are some exceptions too. So I hope that you have noted down the running notes when I explained about these properties there. I had given you one task actually to know about the exceptions of the general properties of metals. I told you that all the metals are hard, but there is an exception. There is an exception in saying that there are some metals which can be cut with the help of a knife. That is nothing but the exceptions are sodium and potassium. They can be cut with the help of a knife. I told that they are hard, but there are substances which are they are solids, but generally they are solids, but there are metals which exist in liquid state too. One good example is mercury, and there are substances which turn to liquid when they are handled, nothing but gallium and cesium. So these all are the exceptions, children. For every general property we have some exceptions. Okay. So we have like other properties, like they are sonorous, they have more density, they are good conductors of electricity and heat, and they are more dense and stuff like that, right? So we had seen some 8 to 9 or 8 to 10 properties of metals, and the definition of the proper definitions of metals and the non-metals have contrast properties. Like we have like only one liquid non-metal, which is called as, what is the name of the liquid non-metal? Yes, it is bromine, children. So they have like more solids, and some of them are solids and some of them are gaseous too, like oxygen, nitrogen and all that. These all are non-metals. And like how we have exceptions in the metals, we have exceptions in the non-metals too. So do that, just try and get some examples of metals and non-metals. Do remember them, and if you find any more examples, you try and classify them between into metals and non-metals, children. Then we have, like, these are the physical properties that I dealt with. After that, I taught you in my video lessons that I posted in the month of April, at the end of the month of April. There I taught you about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. That's more important, children. And the chemical reactivity mainly is because of the atomic structure. So we know that all elements are composed of atoms, right, children? So the atomic structure, the electrons, the subatomic particles, especially the electrons, the distribution of electrons in the atom, that actually decides the chemical properties of a particular metal or a non-metal, children. So metals usually have this tendency to lose electrons. I explained it to you, to lose electrons and become positively charged ions, which are called as cations. In contrast to this, we have non-metals where they gain electrons and they become negatively charged. They are called as anions. So based on this, the reactivity, the chemical reactivity differs. We had seen the reactivity of metals and non-metals with oxygen, with water, with acids and bases, etc. Right, children? So please go ahead, and today I'm going to just repost 1 or 2 videos regarding this lesson so that you just recall what all we dealt in this chapter. Okay, children? Thank you.